Finally starting our 11th chapter series. So let's begin without any further ado with our zoology part, one of the most important and interesting chapters, which is chapter 7, structural organization in animals. Okay, so this will be an NCERT highlighting series. Let's start. Okay, so structural organization in animals. In the preceding chapters, you came across a variety of organisms, both unicellular and multicellular, of the animal kingdom. In unicellular organisms, all functions like digestion, respiration, and reproduction are performed by a single cell. That's what it means, right? Unicellular organisms are all with just one cell which has to perform all the work. Right. So from this, what do you say? Like using the appropriate term, division of labor is very, very less because what does division of labor mean? Like you're splitting the work, right? You're giving it to different people. If you consider as people, you have to give it to different people. But if there's only one person who has to do all the work, then the division of labor is very less. Okay, in the complex body of a multicellular organism like us, okay, the same basic functions like the digestion, respiration, reproduction are carried out by different group of cells in a well organized manner, right? We do not like the digestion process, the respiration process, all are not done by the same organ. We have the stomach, we have our lungs, brain, etc. Okay, the body of a simple organism like hydra, if you just take hydra, right, which belongs to the coelenterate, okay, is made up of different types of cells, and the number of cells in each can be thousands in each particular system. Okay, suppose digestive system, there are thousands of cells in that type, likely. Okay, the human body is composed of billions of cells. If hydra itself is having thousands of cells, then what about us? We'll have billions of cells, right, to perform various functions. How do these cells in the body work together? In multicellular animals, this is important. A group of similar cells, along with the intercellular substance, performs a specific function. Such an organization is called as a tissue. A group of cells, okay. So in a tissue, what do you see? Many cells grouping together to form the tissue. So it's not about you are taking one cell of the stomach, one of the heart, and then they form a tissue. No, right? They should perform similar function, and it should be specific that we are doing this specific function, okay, along with the intercellular substances. Okay, so we are talking about tissue, so let's know a little bit more about it. This term tissue, specifically animal tissue term was coined by whom? It was coined by Chart. Okay, it was coined by Chart. And this, what is the study of tissues called? The study of tissues is called as histology. Histology. Okay, this term histology was coined by Ernst Mayr. All right, so this was a small point. Okay, moving on. You may be surprised to know that all complex animals consist of only four basic types of tissues. Okay, you will see that in the further part. So these tissues are organized in specific proportions and patterns. See, there's some proportion and some pattern. Okay, because a body is highly organized, it doesn't happen in the way it wants to. It's very planned. It happens the same way to form an organ like stomach, lung, heart, and kidney. When two or more organs perform a common function by their physical or chemical interaction, they can have a physical interaction or a chemical interaction. They together form the organ system. Like digestive system, it includes the stomach, the esophagus, the mouth, the um, intestine, and all of these, right? They perform a similar function of breaking down the food and having the maximum utility from it. We don't have lungs over there, right? Respiratory system has its own parts. Yeah, cells, tissues, organs, and organ system split up the work in a way that exhibits division of labor. Yes, and contribute to the survival of the body as a whole. So the main thing is for the survival of the body. So how is that possible in the best way? By division of labor to its maximum extent. Okay, so again, what did we learn here? Animal tissue was coined by, the term was coined by Chart, and histology, the term was coined by Ernst Mayr. Okay, moving on. to the animal tissues. Finally, the structure of the cells varies according to their functions. The structure of cells varies according to the functions they perform. Like RBCs are round and biconcave, right? And they also lack nucleus, the mature ones. We know the reason. It's to accommodate maximum oxygen. And if you see amoeba, they have the specific type. Talking about the cells then, WBCs are amoeboid in shape because they have to undergo diapedesis and all of that. Okay, so therefore tissues are different and are broadly classified into four types as we have seen previously: epithelial, connective, muscular, and neural. Okay, so what is epithelial? So before that, let's just see. Epithelial is the germ layer from which it is derived. Okay, we'll that is a part of the animal kingdom, but we'll do this here. Okay, epithelial can be ecto, meso, or endodermal in origin. It can be either of them. Okay. um, how do we decide it? See, suppose if it's skin is an epithelial tissue, right? It is outside, so it's ectodermal in origin. If there is anything related to the digestive system, will be endo, and then the rest of them which play the role of epithelial tissues will be mesodermal in origin. Okay, now this both connective and muscular are mesodermal. We can remember M for muscular, M for mesodermal. Okay. And neural tissue is ectodermal in origin. Ectodermal in origin. Okay. Skin and the neural tissue is ectodermal in origin. You can remember that. Okay. Now, epithelial tissue. Studying about the epithelial tissue, who coined this term? The person who coined this term was Ruish. Ruish. Okay. It was Mr. Ruish. So, moving on. Okay. We commonly refer to an epithelial tissue as an epithelium. Plural is epithelia. This tissue has a free surface. It has a free surface which either faces a body fluid or the outside environment, and thus provides a covering or lining for some part of the body. So you would have come across this term epithelium, where it's like a covering either to a body, uh, either in the outside surface or to some specific organ. Okay, they can face the outside environment as like our skin. Okay, and body fluid. If there is some epithelial tissue inside the body, then it will face the body fluid, right? It can't face directly the external environment. Okay, and thus provides a covering or lining for some part of the body. The cells are compactly packed with little intercellular matrix. Just assume, okay, all the cells of the skin are one is here, one is here, one is here. What will happen? Like they won't be together, and then if it's raining, let's suppose it's raining, water will enter into your body. This is not happening, right? Because all the cells are tightly packed with very intercellular matrix. There's very less things between them. So easily any substance can't, go inside. Even germs can enter if it is like this. Germs can easily go inside, but it's not happening. That means they have very little intercellular matrix. Okay. Yeah, there are two types of epithelial tissues. Okay, these epithelial tissues can be simple epithelium and compound epithelium. So let's just draw a flow chart here. Tissue, epithelial tissue is of two types: simple and compound. Okay, epithelial tissue, the simple one is again of three types: squamous, cuboidal, and columnar. Right. So now our compound epithelium, actually it's not given in the textbook, but it is of two types. It can be stratified, and another is it can be transitional. Okay. Right. Stratified and transitional. Okay. This is just for the information. Yeah. Okay. Simple epithelium is composed. What does simple mean? It's very simple to understand. That's it. So simple epithelium is just composed of a single layer of cells and functions as a lining for body cavities, ducts, and tubes. Very important. Okay, let's just try to relate it. Body cavities. Okay, our stomach. If there's nothing inside, it's just a cavity. Okay, so it there it you can find the lining ducts. Okay, you'll see that glands, all the ducts, they are composed of epithelial tissue. Tubes, our esophagus is a tube, anus, and all of these. So you can find the simple epithelium over there. Okay, the compound epithelium, if you see, they're composed of two or more cell layers. It's a compound, it's more layers. Okay, and has a protective function as it does in our skin. So our skin is made up of many layers, right? It is not that you just get a small scratch and the blood starts to come out. No, because it's made up of many layers, so you can't easily damage it. And that's the main work. It's supposed to protect our body. Okay, so what is it again? Simple epithelium and compound epithelium. Simple epithelium is simple, it's just made up of a single layer. You can also remember S for simple, S for single. Okay, single layer of all the cells and functions. And just remember where and all they are lining our body cavities, the ducts and the tubes. And the compound epithelium is made up of two or more cell layers, and it does the work of protection, like in our skin. That's it. Okay. On the basis of structural modifications of the cell, they'll ask you on what basis are you classifying the simple epithelium into, the squamous, cuboidal, and columnar. It's based on their structural modifications. What is their structure? They become squamous, cuboidal, and columnar. Okay, so if you see squamous is just a layer of flattened cells. If you see them, they're just flat, right? There's no proper boundary, there's no proper rule to keep them. It's just like that. Okay, irregular. Cube-like cells, of course, cuboidal. Columnar, it's long like this. Okay, if the same columnar bears cilia, okay, so then it will be ciliated columnar. Okay, so it's just about their structure. How do they look? Okay, so if you see this, just note it. Basically, columnar epithelium will have basally located nucleus. Basally located nucleus. What does that mean? The nucleus is in the base. See, base. Okay, okay, fine. Now, squamous epithelium is made up of a single layer of flat, of course it's a single layer because it is a part of the simple epithelium of flattened cells with irregular boundaries. They are flat, as I said, with irregular boundaries. There's no specific method of arranging them. They are found in the walls of blood vessels and air sacs of lungs. This walls of blood vessels is also called as endothelium of blood vessels. Endothelium of blood vessels and air sacs of lungs. Okay, now these are involved in the functions of diffusion. Just think, if it's just made up of a single layer, it's easy to diffuse substances across the layer. Okay, so that's the function of the squamous epithelium. Now, the cuboidal epithelium is composed of a single layer of cube-like cells. Okay, this is mainly found in the ducts of glands. You remember, epithelium is found, simple epithelium is found in the ducts. So again, and tubular parts, again tubes, tubular parts of nephrons and kidneys. And the main function is secretion and absorption. For squamous, it was diffusion. Okay. For cuboidal, it's secretion and absorption. And the epithelium of, if you see, proximal convoluted tubule in the nephron has microvilli. So what is it called? It's called as brush border epithelium. Yes, it's called brush border. Okay, brush border cuboidal epithelium. Okay, brush border cuboidal epithelium. Okay, right. Now, the columnar epithelium is composed of a single layer of tall and slender cells. If you see that picture, they were really tall and they were slender. Okay, so tall and slender cells. The nuclei are located at the base. Nuclei, if you see, as I said, basally located nucleus. The free surface may have microvilli. Again, in the columnar, you might find microvilli on the free surface. They are located in the lining of the stomach and intestine and helps in secretion and absorption. Again, let's just revise this. Simple epithelium is found in the areas of diffusion. What were the examples? The endothelium of blood vessels and the air sacs. Next, cuboidal. Where is it found? It is found in the ducts of glands and the tubular parts of nephron. And if even in PCT, it's found with microvilli. And in columnar, what is the main, yeah, again, cuboidal and columnar, main role is secretion and absorption. Columnar is found in the stomach and intestine. Okay. So if they bear cilia on the free surface, okay, it is called as ciliated, as I said. So what is the role of the cilia? It helps in movement of the particles or mucus in specific direction over the epithelium. It should move in one direction. You can see that in hollow organs like bronchioles and fallopian tubes, in inner lining of hollow organs. Bronchioles, bronchi and bronchioles, right? So for the movement of gases, it will help. And then fallopian tube for the movement of ova. Okay, the egg is moving. The egg doesn't has any motility structures for it itself to go to the uterus or to reach in the fallopian tube. So all of that is facilitated with the help of cilia. Okay, next. Yes, this picture, unicellular gland is this type, and this is multicellular gland. How did I remember this is? See, this is U shaped, right? It's like U. So the tissue is asking you, are you a multicellular or a unicellular organism? So you'll tell I'm a multicellular organism. So this will tell, so I'm a multicellular gland. Okay. So if this is multicellular, then this will be unicellular. That's it. Okay. And yeah, some of the columnar or cuboidal cells, specifically the columnar or cuboidal cells, they are involved in secretion and absorption. So if only for secretion is called glandular epithelium. All the glands are mainly for secretion, they do not absorb anything. So they are mainly of two types. You can find unicellular, consisting of isolated glandular cells. Okay, these are the goblet cells of the alimentary canal. They'll secrete mucus. Okay, and in multicellular cells, it's a cluster of cells, many cells together. It's called it's in the salivary gland. Now, on the basis of mode of pouring their secretions, they have their own secretions, right? So how do they pour them? Okay, on the basis of that, it's divided into exocrine and endocrine glands. I'm pretty sure you would have heard about this, right? How do I remember? Sometimes I'll get confused. Exocrine, is it ducted or ductlets? Okay, remember, endocrine already has D, so it won't be ductless. Exocrine, which doesn't has D in its name, it will be ducted. This is ducted. This doesn't this has D, so this will be ductless. Okay, so now exocrine glands secrete mucus, saliva, earwax, oil, milk, digestive enzymes, and other cell products. You'll find here these products are released through ducts or tubes. As I said, exocrine doesn't have T, so it will be duct or duct tubes. Okay. In contrast, endocrine will not have any ducts. They their main product is hormone secretion. Okay, into the fluid bathing the gland. So if it's in blood, then it's going to secrete the hormones into blood. Okay. So that was about exocrine and endocrine glands. Now let's see about compound epithelium. Compound epithelium is multicellular, multi-layered. As you can see, there's no only single cell, one, two, three, four, there's many cells. Okay, is made up of more than one layer and thus is limited role in secretion and absorption. Let's suppose that here you have with secretions, it has to reach through this. Is it easy when there is many layers or when there is just one layer? You just have one layer, it should go like this. This is easy. That's why the simple epithelium is involved in it. Here it's not involved. Okay, their main function is to provide protection against chemical and mechanical stresses. Okay, okay, what is this? Suppose somebody, they came, no, you were walking. Let's suppose that. Just everything, everybody would have faced it. There's wall. This wall is very rough. Often, no, you'll rub against it. So then you'll get this white color scar, white color marks on your hand. Okay, there's no direct blood coming out, so it's protecting against the mechanical stress. Okay, now suppose you're doing some some work in chemistry lab. That time you pour some chemical, some HCl accidentally fell. Okay, let's suppose that directly here your um what, let's take some organ, let's suppose lungs. Okay, if it directly drops into this will get damaged. So if you it has many layers, then these layers will get damaged, but it will protect it from your lungs. So it's protecting against chemical stresses also. So they cover the dry surfaces of the skin, the moist surfaces of the buccal cavity, because when you're eating your food, no, it can often tear the inner walls of your buccal cavity. Okay, pharynx, inner lining of ducts of salivary glands, pancreatic ducts. Here and all you can find the compound epithelium. Okay. Now, all cells in epithelium are held together with little intercellular matrix. As I said before, only you can remember that if it's raining, your water will not enter inside your body. And then if you get hurt directly, blood is not coming. All of these. In nearly all animal tissues, specialized junctions provide both structural and functional links between the individual cells. So there are three types of cell junctions found in the epithelium and other tissues, which is tight, adhering, and gap. You can go with the name itself, tight junctions. Okay, it stops the substances from leaking across a tissue. Means what? Let's suppose you have a tap. Okay. If you shut the tap properly, tightly or shut, then the water will not leak. But if it's not tight, then little water will be leaking. So I don't want this. So that time I'll have tight junctions. Okay. Now adhering junctions. Adhering, you would have heard about adhesives, right? It's to cement the neighboring cells together, to keep them together. Gap junctions facilitate the cells to communicate with each other by connecting the cytoplasm of adjacent cells, adjoining cells. Okay, let's suppose it's like this. The cells are connected like this for the movement of some substances across. It can be rapid transfer, okay, of ions, small molecules, and sometimes big molecules. That was about our epithelium tissue. Okay, so they have three types of junctions. What are they? Tight, adhering, and gap junction. So we understood it with the name itself. Okay, so this was all for today, guys. So let's just do the connective tissue in the next video. I hope this video was helpful enough. Definitely spread the key of success, spread knowledge. Thank you.